is for you.
Okay.
No.
No? This is a different kind. We'll put these over here.
That is for
Why?
That's really good.
Pinkish, you can sit to his right.
No, it's under.
That's Yaakov.
Take it away.
Since the day of Zion, since the day of Zion order, I want to sort of give over a message to COVID Moshe Rabbeinu, and somehow that'll be linked with the message of Moshe Rabbeinu, Shebeteichenu, Rabbi Melech HaMashiach. So the Indian is like this. There's a sport down in the Kurtei Torah in Pasha Bamidbar, and there's a Maimada which begins with the question, why did the Eibishter give the Torah on Mount Sinai? Because Mount Sinai is what the Medrash calls the mochik b'turayo. It's the low and sort of modest in the mountains. And then why didn't it, it even brings down there, it's written in the Medrash that Mount Tabor, which is a big mountain, very tall mountain, and Mount Carmel, they came to the Eibusha and they said, if you're already giving the Torah, give it where big and impressive. And the Eibusha said, no, that's because you're big and impressive. That's why he doesn't want to give the Torah. So Im Cain asked himself the question, then give the Torah in a valley, the opposite of a high mountain. Give it in a focus on the ground. Yet nonetheless, he gave it on a mountain, but that mountain is like a humble sort of mountain. How do you call it? A low mountain. So says the Alter Rebbe over there that there's a difference between a shafil and an anav. A shafil is somebody that he's, they call it, the chatchila, he's a bit of a bit sort of, down and simple. He's a shafil. Mashiach anav is somebody that he knows everything about himself. He knows that he's got power. He knows he's superior.
What was the word? Did you say anav?
Anav is somebody who has powers and he knows about them. He knows. A shafil is somebody that doesn't have anything anyway, and he's just cast down. And anav is somebody who knows he's mild and he's got them. And Avu Bikain, he holds himself to be simple. He holds himself to be modest like every other people, even though he knows what he really has. You follow? And that's the Indian of Moshe Rabbeinu. And that's the Indian of Mount Sinai. Mount Sinai is a mountain. There's an old saying in Yiddish, Amitor kashmata nivzayin. It's forbidden to be a shmata. You're not allowed to be a thing that people walk over. You've got to be a taki, you've got to be a fighter, or be in that itself, you've got to be not blown up. You've got to be taki, but at the same time you've got to be very humble. And that is the real combination. And that's the Indian of Moshe Rabbeinu. That's what he said. The Moshe Rabbeinu is the same. Moshe Rabbeinu, a tremendous miler. He didn't make out as if he didn't know his miler. He knew what he knew. But Avu Bikain, he writes there, the Alter Rebbe, that Moshe Rabbeinu was convinced that if another Yid, anybody, would have had the milas that he's got, they would have done a better job than what he's doing. And Moshe Rabbeinu was convinced that any person, if he would have the milas that he has, he would have done better than him. And Moshe Rabbeinu believed that, and he really held that way. And therefore he was honor of Mikol Adam, Asher Pnei Adam. Honor of Mikol Adam can be understood in two ways. One, that compared to others, he was very honored. Mikol Adam, than other people.
More humble than.
Comparison, yeah. Or you can say that he was honored, Mikol Adam, that other people, they made him be an Adam.
From them.
He was honored from other people. What does that mean? That he was convinced that had other people had the milas that he had, and Hashem given the Matei Shalakim to other people, what he gave to him, they would have been incomparably better. And Moshe Rabbeinu believed that, be'emet. Mary, I now want to tell you a story, but you've already heard the story, so you can take it easy. It could be you're already taking it easy anyway. Yeah. And the story is brought down in a sikha from the Frierdiker Rebbe in Shnas Tov Shin. And it's like this, that when they brought the tsedek in the Cheder the first time, the Alter Rebbe was there. The Alter Rebbe was like his father. The Alter Rebbe brought him up. And they brought in the tzedek with the whole, pomp and splendor.
Fanfare.
With the covering with the talis, with the whole thing. And what was the custom, and it's a custom to this day, and it's a very kosher Yiddish custom, they teach the child his first pasukim in the Chumash from the beginning of Vayikra. That's the minhag, even to this day. The first piece of Chumash, after he's learned the first Aleph in Tanya, the first Aleph he learns in Tanya. But then he learns the first pasukim in the Chumash Vayikra, Pasha Vayikra. So the tzemach tzedek was a very observant child, and he sees they open up the Sefer Vayikra in front of him, and he sees that the Aleph is a small Aleph. So he says to his Seder, why a small Aleph? That's what the tzemach tzedek asked the Alter Rebbe. So it's put down in the sikha that the Alter Rebbe put his elbows on the table, and he put his holy head in his hands, and he went on to do a dveikus. The Alter Rebbe was very able to do that. He cut off completely. But that only happened when the Alter Rebbe had an issue which he felt was a very demanding issue, and he wanted to get into the depth of the matter. So he saw in this question a very powerful shiur. Why take his because there are three types of voices, there's what's called Aspen Rabin, the big letters, they're very big, and then there's Aspen Beinonim, what the whole majority of the Torah is written in Oisius Beinonim, but Terah. That's one of the reasons why you're supposed to be a Beinonim, because most of the Torah is written, the Beinonim is the main, how to call it, aim, and then there's Aspen Zeirim, Zeirim, and they're small. So some tzedek picked up and he said, what's up here? The Aleph at the beginning of Vayikra, why is it small? So the Alter Rebbe said like that. And the Alter Rebbe said, you probably mean that the last savor of the whole Torah Shabbat is Divrei Hayomim. And Divrei Hayomim begins with the word Odom. That's how it begins. Odom Marisa begins with the word Odom. And the Aleph there is the Aleph Rabasi. It's a big Aleph. So by Odom Marisa, it's a big Aleph. And by Moshe Rabbeinu, the Ebrish is calling him a small Aleph. So the Alter Rebbe said, what's taken for was? So he said that Odom Arishan, he was Yetzir Kapo Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He was the shaping of the hands of Hashem himself. Hashem made him directly.
Oh, see.
Yeah, Hashem
From the
made Adam Rishon directly. That's pretty high stuff.
Mhm.
And Adam Rishon, he his head was in Atzilas, and he was here, and he would say, he was perfection. As put down in the Shul Kodesh, that the Shul Kodesh says that Adam Rishon, perfect. He was the perfection of all possible human species. Therefore, he was Noilad Mahul. It's put down in the Gemara in Masechta Saita that he was Noilad Mahul. When he was born, he was already circumcised. Other people have to be born and then circumcised. Moshe Rabbeinu said he was perfect. Yeah, but Tachlis, that's like I'm sorry, Adam Rishon, was that he called him. He's also, Gemara says in Sanhedrin, I meant Adam Rishon, he was Noilad Mahul. He came into the world Mahul already. Oh, on himself he said that Adam Rishon, he was perfection. Perfection. In every possible aspect. So the Alter Rebbe said, what was the fault with Adam Rishon in Kain Chapter? That perfect situation. So I thought the Shalah, how did it happen to Chet Eitzadar? And you should realize this is one of the most powerful kashias that there is in the whole Torah. How did it happen to Eitzadar? The most perfect human being. The actual work of Hashem's hands. How did he? You said, so you know what the Alter Rebbe said? The Alter Rebbe said that Adam Rishon od margish gewen sein Meile. He felt his own Meile. Like a woman, in a very delicate way. He felt his own Meile. Do you realize what that is? So, it's put down as a terrace of Baal Shem Tov. The Baal Shem Tov said that Adam Rishon used to be able to go up, since his head was in Atzilas the whole time, he was able to go up into Elam Elyonim, and he could go from wherever he wanted in the high world. He just had to say, I'd like to go here, Adam Rishon, Bakshah, you can go. So he used to go from all the great halls, from one place to the other. So the Baal Shem Tov said that once he completed his visits in one big heichal, and there was Mali, Kilel Kusum, the whole heichal, and then he said, I'd like to go to this and this place. Go. So as he was moving from one heichal to the other, Adam Rishon said to himself, that wasn't bad. Yeah, that's pretty good. And you see, I just name it, you got it. As a very, very dark Shabbatakis, Kamuman, they say. This very dark, Adam Rishon said, the Baal Shem Tov said, because of that. That's what happened. Because that he fell into the Chet Eitzadar. And certainly in that Sikha from the Friedrich that the Alter Rebbe said, wegen dem is begangen. Begangen means that you sort of you sort of clashed into the Chet because of that feeling. It is so omak miyim tana. This mind. So what happened was, it's coming now. What's up with you guys?
It's found out.
They finished night Seder.
So you have to realize they finished night Seder. I don't know if they even had night Seder.
You want something?
There's an old saying by the Chassidim that a Chassidish FARBRENGEN is like the Keteris. You know what Keteris is? So the Keteris has got a beautiful rail that travels around. So you have to be able to smell, you have to be able to schmeck a Chassidish FARBRENGEN. which means that you got to come quick, you got to get in first. And you come rolling in at the end. So there's something a bit wrong with your sense of smell. Anyway, good to see you. Shalom Aleichem. So, I mean, that is absolutely mind-boggling. So, what is then the situation? What is the situation with Moshe Rabbeinu? What is the situation? Now, Moshe Rabbeinu also knew his mother. Pink to say the other Moshe. Moshe Rabbeinu, Moshe Rabbeinu knew all of his miles. Pink to say the other Moshe. But Moshe Rabbeinu, his knowledge of his miles made him the other way down. The other way made him honor Mikol Adam. Instead of Moshe Rabbeinu saying, in a very, very delicate way, tremendously delicately, Moshe Rabbeinu went the other way. Moshe Rabbeinu, he went down, and he said, if other people would have had the miles that I had, they would have been in comfort better than me. That's number one. And you should realize that there's a moment from the Rebbe Rashab in Tofresh Ayin Ted, in Shavuot. But over there, the Rebbe Rashab says another pshat. And he said, you know why Moshe Rabbeinu was so enough? He knew what his miles were, but he was so enough. He looked at the generation before Mashiach. That happens to be your generation.
I saw you.
He looked at the generation before Mashiach, and he saw there would be schreckliche nisyonim. How do you call it? Test. You know, there's a Gemara Masechta Sanhedrin. I think it's even Rebbe Chia. One of the great early Amoraim, he said, I want Mashiach to come, but I don't want to be there when he
comes. I don't want to be there when he comes.
Oh.
Who said this?
I think it was Rebbe Chia, one of the great Amoraim.
One of the great Robs of Chabad.
Early Amoraim.
Why would he say that?
It's moving. That before Mashiach will come, the situation will be very, very, very
Very difficult.
Yes, it is.
Moshe Rabbeinu, according to the Rebbe Rashab in Ayin Tes, according to the Rebbe Rashab in Ayin Tes, Moshe Rabbeinu saw the Yidden in the generation before Mashiach will come. And he saw that nonetheless, with all the tzaras, with all the inyonim, with all and with the Rebbe, I was there several times when the Rebbe said the whole Veda nowadays al yavish mei hamaligim. You shouldn't be ashamed from the scorners and the scoffers. People make fun. That is the biggest nesoyan of all. The biggest nesoyan is somebody makes fun of him. Al yavish mei hamaligim. And that's the first Ramah in the whole Shulchan Aruch. The first Ramah, he says, Al yevesh min hamaligim. At the beginning of the whole Shulchan Aruch. That's what the Ramah is. Moshe Rabbeinu looked at those Yidden, and he said, I've got these unbelievable gifts. He said, but can be those Yidden? He said, I'm just, I'm simple. The Gabi does people. And that's where Moshe Rabbeinu got his whole unbelievable anova. So, that's pretty powerful. So that's the difference between Moshe Rabbeinu and, as it were, Chas v'Sholom. I don't mean to be Koyan Adam Rishon Chas v'Sholom. I don't mean that. But Adam Rishon, the Alter Rebbe said it. If the Alter Rebbe hadn't said it, then we wouldn't be able to say it. Oh, the Alter Rebbe said that Adam Rishon, and that's how he fell into the chait. You realize what this is? Pili plus. You're not allowed to feel your own mind. I remember Rav Nachman once said to me, that if we would only understand what Siddur really means, we would be completely different. Yeah, we learn Siddur and meditation. We don't really understand what it's all about. You get it for absolute nothing in yourself. If you hold from yourself, that's unbelievable. That's not something. That's what happened with the beginning of this week's parsha. It's written by Vayikra El Moshe, and then Vayidaber Hashem Elo. First of all, it's written with no names. Vayikra El Moshe, without any name. And then Vayidaber Hashem, Hashem spoke to him, the dinim of the Korban. What's it this episode? Vayikra El Moshe, without any name. All of them great before Hashem asked the question. So what does Rashi say? Rashi says that this was before any time Hashem spoke to Moshe, there was a kriya, he called him. And so Rashi says that this was a Loshen Chibah. Calling a person like that is a Loshen Chibah. And we explained before that Chibah means a very special type of affection. It's not just ordinary ahava. It's certainly not a hebrew of ahava, but it's not ahava in the usual sense. It's a very delicate, how do you call it, gishmak of feeling that you have for the other person. That's called chibur. So Rashi says that the Eibusha called Moshe with chibur. What does that mean? That's something you can't. It's only from the eter. It comes only from the very essence of a person to feel that type of chibur. Hashem, higher than all the names, higher than Hashem Avayim, higher than all the names, he called Moshe Rabbeinu. And he said, Moshe, come in, don't be afraid, come in. Now Moshe Rabbeinu gegangen, and he became Moshe Rabbeinu Lapoya. From that we see that the Nasinas Koya, to be Moshe Rabbeinu for the whole Jewish people, came from this Vayikra. That's where it all started. And all that Moshe Rabbeinu had lived through up till now doesn't quite match that moment. And that's why it happened on Rosh Chodesh Nisan. Because Rosh Chodesh Nisan is also the same thing. It's just beyond everything. It is the Nasinas Koya, like the rabbi said, that's the Nasinas Koya of everything. Rosh Chodesh Nisan. Vayikra is the same thing. It's the Zolzah. And that's even from Zion order. It's brought down, I told one of the guys, it's brought down in the Minhagim of Tzvat, the old Minhagim of Tzvat, that on Zion order, they used to make a big aliyah to Meron. Because according to certain great Seder Hadoras and other great authorities, Rabbi Shimon was I don't want to use the word Gilgal, but he was a reappearance of Nishmas Moshe Rabbeinu in the world.
He said it in Zohar, no? בזוהר כתוב.
כן, בתיקון הזה, זה משמע כאן. אבל יש כאלה שכותבים ממש מפורש כאן. הוא אומר לה, Now came, there used to be a big aliyah from Tzfas to Meron, Zion order, and at Kedikar, they used to take Sifrei Torah, used to carry Sifrei Torah from Tzfas all the way across to Meron. I don't know what way they went, but they used to carry Sifrei Torah and dance with them by Rabbi Shimon, and then bring them back. Yeah. And it's just like on Simchas Torah. They don't learn them. They took them over, dancing them, and put them back. The Simchas, it's beyond Oisias, you know. It's higher than letters. It's under, and that's Vayikra Moshe. That's the koyach of Vayikra. That's a giving of power to Moshe Rabbeinu that he would be able to carry out his shlichus as Moshe Rabbeinu. You follow? And das is viel deployed. And that's the Indian what the Alter Rebbe writes there, that Har Sinai is the same thing. Yeah, Har Sinai is also the same thing. Har Sinai is a mountain, not a shmata. No. A shmata, for sure. It's a mountain. The lowest and most humblest of all the mountains. And that's Moshe Rabbeinu. Therefore, certain in Pirkei Avos, Moshe Kibel Torah Mi Sinai. From the Meibushan, where did he get the Torah from? He got the Torah from there, it was Mi Sinai, what he got from Sinai. And as the great Mephoshim learn, how did Moshe Rabbeinu, how did he sit on Mount Sinai for 40 days and without food and without the ganze Jewish, and he received the whole Torah and he gave it to the Yidden, Mosaroli or shiur. How did Moshe Rabbeinu get the credit for such a thing? Sinai. He looked at Mount Sinai and he saw that it was Toikev, of it was at the same time. The Tachlis, Hanivas, but Bittel. The Chabad Chassidus calls that Bittel. And Bittel means that you're something, but you're not. You're something, but you're not. And you got to be something, but you got to be nothing. And that's not an easy time. So Moshe Rabbeinu, he got that from Sinai. It's a Gesehen. Inside Moshe Kibbutz Torah Mi Sinai. And Moshe is Gesehen in Sinai. And everything was from Hashem, but it came through Sinai. And that's the whole inyan of that amazing story at the Alter Rebbe with the tsemach tsedek. He said that Moshe knew everything about himself. He wasn't a shmata. Moshe Rabbeinu could be very takif if he needed, but at the same time he was betachlis. A beetle, something and nothing. How do they say in Yiddish? It's yo'er, it's a nishter. It is him, but it's not him. Yeah. That's the whole secret. And that's the Indian of Zion. That's the Indian of Zion. Omer Hashem Astor, that we have, I once asked Chosin in Krachabah, what does he say? I said, what do you say? He said, what about? I said, what do you say? So he said, Welt kann ich sein ohne Rabbon. He said, the world can't be without a rabbi.
We're not without a rabbi.
He said, no, my tata. Oh, the world can't be without a rabbi. So I would say, Vadai, we're not without the rabbi, Chas v'sholem. We got the rabbi. But there's another Geder that will have the rabbi, and he'll have us in a different way. Dahainu, hu beguf, anachnu beguf, ad l'neitza. And that's what we want. You follow? How do they say it in the dramatic soapbox English? They say, from this forum, from this forum, standing on a soapbox, from this forum we put forth a demand that we have to have the Rebbe, B'Poel Mamish.
Amen.
To build only trying on a Rabbun. The world computer, if Cain, let's get moving. That's the infant Zion of the guys. That's l'chaim.
Time of the bracha.
And we have no idea what's hidden in every story from our rabbi. And that story is just so unbelievable. is first of all you see the unbelievable greatness of the Rebbe, the tsemach tedek. Here he is, a little boy, just over 3 years. They bring him into the cheder with the whole thing. They show him the first thing he said, was it so small, hello? And then you got the Alter Rebbe, took it seriously. The Alter Rebbe didn't say, oh, don't worry, you'll learn later, you'll find out later. The Alter Rebbe went into a dvar, and he came up with an answer. Follow? Fine, guys.
On the Racha.
There should be a emes freiliche, cheder shode, and a emes freiliche zayin.
Amen.
And how is it going to be emes freiliche zayin if we have the Rebbe before man?
Amen.
Davon the Rebbe before. And then it will be emes freiliche zayin basis. How they said, make a couple of closing remarks, not closing down, but closing for the moment. It's you saw the other day. He was there this morning. He's called Reuben. He goes with a sort of thick stick, if you say. So I know him from way back. There's a whole sort of story of our connection together. And it's a whole sort of amazing thing. And it just shows you. And he said to me this morning when I was coming down, my knees are bad, I'm coming down the stairs. He said, "Bro, I'm going to get you one of my sticks. I'll get you a really good one." So I said, "Listen, if you do that, then they'll all say Gafne's a right of you, he's walking around with a stick, you know." I can't agree to that, but keep it secret, you know. Maybe I'll sort of keep it in a corner. You know. So anyway, a couple of weeks ago, I was looking for a sefer. I couldn't get it. And for me, not to be able to get a sefer, I get sort of, I get impatient, I get nervous, I can't get a sefer. So I spoke to, what's his name over here, Aaron, he's thinking about it, he's ordered it, it's going to come. I said, that's not for me. So I went down, I davened, all of a sudden he comes in, this fella, puts his stick in a corner, and he's got a little bag in his hand. And I'd already finished, I was in my, my phone there, and he comes over, and he says, "Listen, Rabbi," he said, "a sign of our old affection, our old connection, I bought you a sefer." Yeah. So it's inside a bag, I opened the bag, and it's that sefer.
The one you were looking for?
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's that sefer that I was looking for, and I couldn't get it. So I said to him,
"Whoa, Huda, you okay?"
"Are you all right, Huda?"
He's falling off his chair.
That's a great
He's falling off his chair.
Yeah, that's where he's supposed to do it.
Of the story of
In the old days, I had two Talmudim, they used to fall off their chairs the whole time. And I was just so, I couldn't, I didn't know how to thank him, and he wrote a beautiful hakdosha, inside it. And so I thought that, he would write in English, but he wrote in very beautiful Lashon Kodesh. He wrote it, I had to call it, a dedication inside the sefer. My eyes jolted out that also. I didn't know that he knew Lashon Kodesh very nicely. He wrote it very well. It was very moving. So it's just, then all of a sudden I realized that when a thing like that happens, then you have to say Yechi Adonai. Because what made that kesher between he and me, it wasn't me and it wasn't him. The rabbi. The rabbi. He made that kesher.
Wow.
And that's the rabbi. That's the koyach of the rabbi. And I was very moved, and I still am. But I got the sefer. Really pleased. Yeah.
Wow.
I just couldn't believe it. Really, I said to him, "How did you know that I was looking for that sefer?" He said, "I didn't know, Rabbi." He said, "I just wanted to bring you a token of my appreciation."
Rabbi.
Yeah. So there we are, guys. That's why it is that the world can't be without a rabbi.
Can't, and it isn't.
Yeah. So you'll have to forgive me. I'm sort of running out of fuel.
Here's some more fuel. More fuel for you.
Yeah, but it's the sort of fuel that'll sort of slightly, how to call it, twist the. But the main thing is that we've got to realize that sometimes you got to fit a whole world into a few words. You got to be able to say the whole world, but you got to put it briefly. And so I think that's what we did with that story. It was just such an amazing thing. And I was in the yeshiva this morning, and I spoke to somebody, and I got somebody to call my attention. My telephone's kaput, it's not working. So I got somebody to call me a taxi, and he came round and he accompanied me up to the taxi. And just the feeling of being with him was very special. Yeah. And so he said to me, he said, you know what, Rabbi, I'll get you one of my sticks. He said, so people will say you're a mystic. He said, Rabbi, are you a mystic? And I said, oh yes, I am. Bye-bye, and I got into the taxi.
Abraham Avinu had a shtick.
You should realize that the Emes existentialist mystic was Avraham Avinu. Emes van hem. En Chaim Yosef. En Derek, we zijn Simcha wat toeleven. Simcha is a big avoider.
Not a dance.
Dance, tanz,
Dance. Regular.
a dance.
Wat, hè? Okay.
No, Bocha Choyne. Bocha Choyne.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I had a shiur.
Set down the amplifier before
I
it.
don't know if I had a shiur.
We ever do it?
Anybody had a shiur? So
Turn off the amp.
Tell Shama.
Let's now to the front over there.
Put this over here.
I can
Hier Shama, wie dat dan?
Okay. Anything else go over here?
No,
You want to stay plugged in?
that's it.
Unplug you?
I got it.
Top.
No.
Leave it plugged in, okay.
Yeah, better.
I have
Rabbi
to stop
Shah.
the...